want you to just visualize your highest self. This is how you bring that version of you to life. Confidence, I think, really is the foundation of everything. I realized that how I felt about myself was actually influencing every part of my world. This is a really powerful and easy way for you to start to actually embody the person you want to become so that you can step into the character of your future self.
Hey, Roxie Nafousi, are you ready to dream bigger?
Oh my God, I'm so happy to be back with you. I first have to excuse my voice. It's a little bit croaky, but I'm going to take it like Phoebe from Friends and
I
just
love
claim it as sexy.
It is very
I
sexy.
said to my team, I was like, I secretly fucking love it.
I like it too. I mean, you should start, singing a tune like Phoebe too.
No, I'm tone deaf. I won't do that because it would upset a lot of people.
Oh my God. Well, this is your second time on the podcast,
Yes.
and you are releasing a new book on confidence, which is, I think it's such a topic that I personally am passionate about. So were you always a confident person?
Oh my goodness, no. The complete opposite. And this book was born a lot from my own journey. It's the book that I needed all my life and the book that I know that so many people need. And, I grew up feeling, I remember the first time I sort of looked in the mirror at age 7 and had decided I was disgusting and revolting. And it's something that I haven't really talked about much because I actually had a lot of shame around the level of self-loathing that I had and how extreme it was. It's a really long story, but it turned into an anxiety disorder called BDD, which is body dysmorphia disorder, which was actually not about my body, but about my face and how I genuinely felt repulsed by myself and assumed that everybody else did as well. And it was a big reason why I became addicted to drugs so quickly because it was an escape and it gave me this false sense of confidence. But throughout my life, I had very, very severe self-loathing. And when you have a disorder like BDD, it's a form of OCD. So you have looping repetitive thoughts with a checking behavior. And so I had this looping narrative, and even as I gained like success in work or whatever else it was, or had a family, had love in my life, whenever I wasn't like distracted, I was just thinking about how grotesque I was. And it has been such a huge part of my life, and it's actually only now that I've started sharing about it because I actually haven't been ready. I've shared so much of my personal story before, but I haven't really been ready to share this because I was still very much on the journey. And now I'm at a point where I learned to manage it, but know that it will always be some part of my life. But the reason I share it is because firstly, I think it's a really underdiagnosed disorder. But secondly, because I'm at a place in my life where I am truly so confident in who I am. And I think that if I can get to a place when I've literally had my mind has been programmed in such a way that has been so extreme, that level of like the inner critic was so loud and so monstrous. If I can get to a place using the steps in my book to feel truly empowered, to truly be able to sit here and say, I do love who I am, I think that anybody can. So I'm so passionate about this. And, confidence, I think, really is the foundation of everything. And every area of my life has become so much better since I actually realized my own worth.
First, thank you for sharing that. And I think it's a really powerful message because, you are just so stunning. And obviously you are so talented, but I mean, you're like, anyone sees you, it's like you are like a Barbie doll, like stunning.
Oh my
and
God, so sweet. Thank you.
Fact that you had this narrative in your own mind, it just proves that it's skin deep. You know what I mean? It's nothing to do with how others perceive you. It's not even what you're looking at in the mirror. It's something that goes so much deeper than that.
Yeah.
So talk to me about how you started to cultivate the confidence and how you started to fall in love with yourself.
It was a really long journey. And essentially it started when I discovered manifestation, because manifesting is using the power of your mind to change and create the reality you experience. And the secret of manifesting is that you can only manifest what you subconsciously believe you are worthy of receiving. And so in this moment, when I discovered this back in May 2018, when I was at my rock bottom, I realized that how I felt about myself was actually influencing every part of my world. And I wasn't going to be able to get myself from out of this kind of like hole that I was in unless I started to believe in myself, unless I started to like myself. And so I kind of simultaneously, as well as going on a manifestation journey, I was really going on a self-development journey, a journey to healing, to understanding, why did I hate myself so much? Why did I feel so unlovable and unworthy? And so, I constantly thought that everybody else was better than me. And I was just like this, loser that just was never going to be able to experience any joy in life. And so I think that the journey began then, which is 7 years ago, and it took time. I remember, people would say back then, like, healing's a lifelong journey. And I'd be like, well, then what the fuck is the point? Right? But what I recognize now is that every time you heal something about yourself, or you understand why you have this pattern of thinking or why you have this pattern of behavior, you unlock a new experience of the world, and it just keeps getting better and better. And so I came up with 7 steps to manifesting when I learned to manifest, because I wanted to find a way to make it really like actionable, and a way that I could teach people what I was teaching myself. Mm-hmm. And I did the same with confidence. I researched everything I could on like, how can I just overcome this? And I made it my mission. And then I distilled it into these 8 really clear steps, which is what the book is based on.
Okay, so give us spark notes. I mean, everyone has to go read the book.
Yeah.
And I mean, you already know this from the first time we met. I had read your book long before we had ever met. And I was like, this is an incredible book on manifestation. So first, like a genuine like reader of whatever you put out, tell us about the 8 steps to confidence.
Okay. So if I'm not good at doing this fast, so
that's okay.
I'm going to fucking give it to you.
I love it. I love it.
Okay. So the first step is master your thoughts. So essentially, everything begins with a thought, and a thought that's been repeated so many times becomes a belief. And our beliefs that we hold about ourselves and the world around us really determine our whole experience of the world and the reality we create. And this is because our belief system becomes the filter through which we view every experience and interaction we have. So the conversations you have with your partner, how you feel about the people in your office, how you feel about the news, whatever it is all being filtered through your belief system. And then it's being sort of digested, and then you're responding to it based on that. So everything then becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy. So there's a really great hypnotherapist called Marissa Peer, and she says your mind's job is to make your thoughts real. And so if you kind of have this belief, I'm not going to get this job, I'm not smart enough, I'm not worthy enough, your mind will it will subconsciously alter your behavior and your perception to it and your response to it so that it keeps that true. So for example, let's say you go into an interview and you've already got this belief, like there's no way I'm going to get this job, like I'm just not good enough for it. Subconsciously, what you're going to do is you're going to downplay your achievements. You're probably not going to, because the nerves are going to be there, you're not going to give the excitement and enthusiasm that an employer is looking for, and you're probably not going to get the job. And there is actually scientific evidence to show how confidence actually influences success rates in interviews. But being able to understand how powerful our thoughts and our beliefs are is really important. And then we need to understand how can we change those beliefs and form more empowering ones. And there's loads of kind of tips in the book, but there's things like, using affirmations, changing the narrative we speak to ourselves with. And I would say that, when I talk about changing our thoughts and being able to like speak to ourselves in like a kinder way, I always want to acknowledge that I know that that's not really like super easy to do, especially in the beginning. And a really good measure for you, if like you're trying to figure out like how bad are my thoughts, or like how like deep is this inner critic going? Well, I want you to imagine that I'm asking you now. I want you to just say to yourself, and for anyone listening, I want you to say to yourself in your mind, I love who I am. I am so worthy. I'm so enough. My friends and family are so lucky to have me. Now, if that to you feels cringe, embarrassing, or just deeply uncomfortable, then that is proof to me that the inner critic has really embedded itself and that it's so familiar to you, because even thinking something nice in your head feels too uncomfortable. So that can be a good gauge for you to understand like how bad are things and how much work needs to be done here.
You know, what you say about things being a self-fulfilling prophecy, I think it's also the other way around, right? Like we all believe certain things about ourselves and those things come easy to us, right?
Yes.
So say, for example, I don't know if you believe that money is something that's like easy, it's just going to flow to you.
Absolutely.
Or the example that I like to give in my case is my relationship has always come easy to me because I was just always like, oh, I'm going to have the best, like whenever I settle down, it's going to be with the best guy and it's going to be the easiest, most fun relationship for the rest of my life. And that's literally what I've manifested.
Yes.
It's the least complicated part of my life.
Oh,
and so, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
I couldn't agree more.
So then what, like the master your thoughts thing, it's like, if certain things can be true for certain areas of your life, that means that you can alter other things if you master how you think of those things too, I feel like. No?
Absolutely. I mean, you're totally right. It works both ways. And we all know someone, and if it's not ourselves, we know someone who just has this like unwavering confidence. They just know things are going to work out for them. They're not worried about this or that. They just know like things are just going to flow the way that they're supposed to. And usually those are the people that we call like lucky.
Yeah.
And they're not lucky.
Yeah.
They just have this confidence that is so magnetic. And that's the thing, is like confidence is magnetic.
It is.
So yeah, I absolutely agree.
I love that. Okay, so tell us step 2.
Okay, step 2 is act with intention. So this is about showing yourself that you are worthy of love and respect, and it's about the idea and the premise of this step is that actions speak louder than words. So sometimes, like let's say you love someone, you maybe don't say it to them every day, but you might show them by making them a cup of tea or filling up their car with petrol or helping them move house, like whatever it is. And so it's like, how can you treat yourself and show yourself through your actions, through your habits, through your routines and rituals, that you love yourself, that you respect yourself, and that and I think sometimes when you're mastering your thoughts, that's a journey, it's practice, but the behavior is something that for most people is a lot easier to change straight away, and there's all an interplay between how you behave and how you think.
So what are little things that we can do to kind of act with intention on a daily basis?
Okay, so I have this amazing technique. So everybody listening, I want you to close your eyes for a second and I want you to just visualize your highest self. So this was like the most empowered you that could exist. And if you're thinking, oh, how do I do that? I want you to think of yourself 1 year from now. And 1 year from now, you are living your best life. And I want you to think, how is that version of you standing? What's their posture like? What clothes are they wearing? How are they walking into a room? How do they feel about themselves? How do they interact with other people? And I want you to really get a sort of clear picture of this version of you. Now, that version of you is your higher self or your most empowered self. And I want everyone to know that that version of you already exists. It's just waiting to be brought to life. And this is how you bring that version of you to life. Every day, from the minute we wake up to the minute we go to bed, we have hundreds, maybe thousands of decisions to make, right? And I think that life is just a culmination of all the little choices we make day to day. Well, I want you to try this practice. Before you make any decision, I want you to just ask yourself one question. What would my higher self do? And so when you're about to snooze your alarm, what would my higher self do? When you're choosing what to eat for breakfast, what would my higher self do? When someone's asking you to go for dinner tonight and you really actually don't want to go because you need rest, what would my higher self do? And this is a really powerful and easy way for you to start to actually embody the person you want to become so that you can step into the character of your future self.
I love this tip because it really does give you such a powerful framework. And I think it gives you direction as well. It's almost like this, I guess this ideal version of you. And I completely agree. I think everyone has that in them and it's just waiting to be brought to life. And it really is a culmination of our actions every single day.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I love that exercise. I think it just allows people to really be so intentional and get closer to that goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I really, really love it. And then we move on to step 3. This is my favorite step of the book. And it's stop trying to be liked by everyone.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I love this one.
It's so good. Okay, so it opens with this great quote that I found on Instagram. You might have seen it before, which is stop trying to be liked by everyone. You don't even like everyone. And I just love it because it's so fucking true.
It is.
And I share in this, well, firstly, like I explained that the reason that we have this desire to be liked, because most of us do, and the reason is from an evolutionary perspective, because back when we were in tribes, we needed to be part of something. We needed to belong so that we could literally survive. Because if we were outcast, then we wouldn't survive. Like we would be killed, right? And so we have this need to belong, but we've kind of taken it way too far because now we don't need it to survive, but we're using it as a measuring stick to decide our own worth.
Also, I mean, think about in a tribal environment, there's like, I don't know, 20 people. And now it's like there's hundreds of thousands of people. Like you put yourself on the internet or like, you know, you do anything, whether it's start a business or just put yourself out there. It's no longer just the tribe of 20 people. It's like
absolutely
the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah. We're making ourselves so vulnerable. And so it's kind of like saying, okay, we understand why we have this desire. And look, you're not going to eradicate all desire to be liked. Like we also want to be part of something.
For sure.
We want to be part of a community, but how can we stop allowing it to impact how we feel about ourselves, and how do we actually free and liberate ourselves? Or in the book I share 4 essential truths, and they are so good, and I won't go through them all now, but I'll share one with you. And the last one is it's not personal. And the way that I really allowed myself to truly understand that things weren't personal was by thinking about everything as energy. So everything in the universe is energy, right? And our thoughts, emotions, the chair, like the sky above us, everything is energy. And that includes us. Now, I want you to think about like the thousands of people that you've met in your lifetime. And aren't there just like a handful who you just clicked instantly? Like you don't know why. It was just, there was just this thing. And for me, it's energy, right? There's this energetic connection. And you might have a friend in your life who you think we are so different from each other. Like, I don't know why we're friends, but we just are. You might even have a partner like that. And then there's other people in your life who it works the other way, where you just think we just don't vibe. There might be a colleague at work and you just don't gel. And actually, when you think about it and you think it's not about you or them being one way or another, it's just that it's not an energetic match. You actually allow yourself so much more space to just like accept that you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and they're not going to be your cup. Not everyone's going to be your cup of tea. And it really allows you to just kind of like stop making things about you when it doesn't need to be. Like if you don't get on with someone, it's not the end of the world. It's okay. And you can kind of just have more acceptance, more surrender. And I find that so helpful. And it's also especially helpful for those people who are dating. You know, when we're dating, usually we go into a date and we think, oh my God, I really hope they like me. Firstly, what we should be thinking is, I really hope I like them. And secondly, if it's not a match, if you don't hear from them, stop making about what was wrong with you. Just think, it just wasn't an energetic fit, and let that be it. You don't need to attach more meaning to things than you need to.
So I want to know how you apply this tip as someone who has from like a public persona perspective, because I'm sure so many other people can relate to this as well. It's like what will they think of me? Or someone leaves a mean comment, or you hear a friend or someone you know who said something terrible about you. How do you deal with that?
So I feel like, firstly, I feel like I'm quite lucky in that my community is quite nice. So I haven't been exposed to like too many trolls or anything, but definitely like if you look at Amazon reviews or things like that. Now, what I've really noticed is that the criticism or the mean comments that hit something that we already feel about ourselves are the ones that hurt the most. So let's say, I've got a message. I get so many lovely messages about my books, right? And I got one and it said, this is, it was something like, this is the most dreadful piece of shit I've ever read. Can I have a refund? Right? And I couldn't care less because I know my books are good. And I don't mean that in a big-headed way, but I wouldn't be trying to tell people about them if I didn't believe they could really help.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, I know they're good.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even
it doesn't register,
hit, right? But if someone wrote something that I was already feeling insecure about, I would really take it to heart. And so what you can do is when someone says something and it does hit, instead of allowing it to spiral, I just want you to pause and just say, you know what? What is this showing me that I need to heal within myself? And actually that gives you back some sense of control. Because, I think when we feel like there's people talking about us and all of that, actually got to it's not about them. It doesn't matter. An opinion is just an opinion. If it's hurt you, what is it that you need to be honest with yourself about? What could you heal? How could you give yourself compassion in that moment? And I think also, one thing that I've personally done is I've really accepted and this is actually the, third of my fourth truth, which is you can't please all the people all the time. Nobody is universally liked. Nobody on earth. All the people that I love and admire, whether it's friends, family, celebrities, speakers, not everybody loves them, right? And there are going to be plenty of people that find me annoying or don't like me, but that's okay. I don't need to be everyone's hit. It's okay. And I think I make this kind of joke on stage when I give talks thousands of people. I'm look, a lot of you here I'm sure will enjoy the show. There will be some of you being like, I should have fucking stuck to the book, right? And that's okay. There's no refunds. There's still no refunds, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And I think it's very nice, as long as you're being a good human and you're not going out to hurt anyone. I think it's just you do you.
Yeah, I love that. I really do love that perspective. And I also love the perspective of kind of taking in something that may have triggered you and understand why that is.
Yeah.
Because it's true. If someone says I don't know, I don't like your business, I'd be like, nah, okay,
yeah,
cool. Can't please everyone.
Yeah,
but then if they say something else that it's you have some sort of deep rooted insecurity, it just hits different. And I think also sitting with that emotion and trying to understand why that is has helped me get to the bottom of a lot of my triggers as well.
Yes.
And so that's kind of how you move on in life.
Yes.
So I'm okay, these trolls are kind of gifts.
Yeah.
It's
I like that.
You learn more about yourself. And so I love that tip. I think it's so great.
Thank you.
Okay, next one.
Okay, step 4 is break free from comparison. So
big one.
There's, again, there's lots of different tips of how we can actually do this, but I'll just share one now, which is about shifting your perspective. So I use this in an analogy that imagine you were in a line of traffic and you're looking ahead at the traffic and you're like, oh God, I've got so far to go. I wish I was at the front of the traffic, whatever. But then I want you to imagine that you take a second, you look in your rear view mirror and you look at all the traffic behind you. And in that moment, you can just take a second to be like, you know what, I'm really happy with where I'm at. And I think that this can be really helpful. And it's actually called, there's basically this thing called upward comparison and downward comparison. And upward comparison is where you see people that you perceive to be better than you, and it can have a really negative impact on our self-esteem. Now, a little bit is good, right? Sometimes we need to look at people ahead of us to be inspired, motivated, but too much actually just isn't really good for us. And when we have low self-esteem, we tend to do it more. Downward comparison, it's not about looking down on people. It's about seeing people that maybe aren't as far along as you are, and it allows you to sink into this state of gratitude. Now, a healthy amount of comparison is actually a bit of upward and a bit of downward. And so it's really important for us to keep, especially if you're thinking, God, I'm so far behind, I'm not married, I don't have kids, I don't have this business that I wanted yet. It's actually really about understanding that you're exactly where you need to be. And there are people that would kill for your normal day, right? They would just your normal day is their dream. And so, and not only other people, but think about compare yourself to old you.
I love doing that. Anytime I feel like I'm just glossing over my life. I'm like, think about what your 21-year-old self would say. And I sit down and I'm like, oh my God, she'd be like gobsmacked.
Yes.
You know, and it's like, it really is like, you don't think like you currently are so much further along than you were. You probably have achieved a lot of the things that your younger self couldn't even have imagined for you. So I love that technique. I think it's really powerful.
Oh, thank you. Then we go on to step 5, which is celebrate yourself. And this is, I think a lot of women especially really struggle with self-celebration. And I don't know if it's also as bad in the US. I feel like
it's everywhere. I think it's pretty universal.
Yeah. And I think that there's a few reasons for it. Now, one of the reasons is because we've really glorified humility. So like being humble is like a really desirable trait across cultures. And I know for me specifically, and I don't know if you had any experience of this, but the evil eye was like really big in my culture. And so there was this idea that if you appeared like too happy, too successful, to anything good, you would attract negativity and jealousy into your life. And so I got subconsciously primed really early on, like never to seem too good. Essentially what they were saying is don't stand in your light. And so then as an adult, you really struggle with that. Like you're like, oh God, I don't want to like tell my friend about this good thing that happened to me because what if it makes them upset? What if it makes them not like me? I don't want to post this on social media because, whatever it is. And so I think it's a really kind of like, obviously being humble, again, similar to what we were saying before, a little bit is good. Like a little bit of humility is of course good. Like it helps us to keep growing. But too much becomes self-deprecating. It's where we put ourselves down and we're not allowing ourselves just to take up space. And then another reason that we struggle with self-celebration alongside that is because we have confused confidence and arrogance. And they are not the same thing, right? So confidence says, arrogance says, I am the best. Confidence says, I am working towards being the best that I can be. And because we know, I'm sure all of us have come across someone who is truly arrogant. It's not nice being in their presence. They can be undermining, demeaning, they make you feel small, it's uncomfortable. And so of course, none of us want to come across that way. But what I always say is like, if you are worried about being arrogant, you're not, because arrogant people don't have that self-awareness.
Oh my God.
Like at all. And it's really important for us. And I believe that we have like a responsibility as a community, as women, to actually give each other space to celebrate ourselves. Like if your friend shares some good news with you, if they post something on Instagram, celebrate it. Like let's encourage self-celebration.
I couldn't agree more. And I also think that sometimes we tend to downplay our achievements because we've already moved on to the next goal. And so you don't even give yourself the opportunity to be like, oh, I've done a good job. And it's a shame because then you go through life and you've never taken the time to be like, damn, I did that.
Yes. And absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's like celebrating the small wins and taking time for like those big moments. I mean, I do that all the time. I'm very like, stop. And like, I know it sounds really silly, but like Chris Appleton did my hair on Monday, right? And I woke up and I was like, Kim Kardashian's hairstylist is doing my hair today. Because I was like, take a fucking minute. Like anything, and I think it's like stopping to really just be like, this is a cool thing that's happening is really important.
So talk to me about how you started to action this. Because for example, if you grew up in a culture where it's like the evil eye, and I know this is like a thing, universal thing, which a lot of people deal with, or it's just that, people will think I'm arrogant if I like toot my own horn, and I put it in air quotes because it's such bullshit, right? So how did you start to change that for yourself?
I just changed my perspective on it. What I realized is that self-celebration wasn't me trying to be arrogant. If I was trying to celebrate an achievement of the book, or I wanted to talk about something I'd created, I was doing it because I genuinely believed it was going to help someone else, or it was going to inspire someone else. And what I recognized is I love being around confident women. I find it so inspiring.
Empowering.
I like the first thing I said to you when I came in, I'm like, I'm so inspired by you. I love what you've done with Array. Like, I am like such a fan. I'm like, oh my God, tell me everything. Like, I really get fueled by other women's success. And I think that if I can help encourage another woman to celebrate herself, then I'm going to do that. And I think it's really easy, I think, on social media when I think about it. Like I've always been really vulnerable on social media throughout my journey. And I think it's been part of why I've got such an amazing community. And I remember thinking like, I don't know if I should like share this or not, but like if you post something like where things are like hard or down, I feel like people are really supportive. But like I'm like, oh God, yeah. But if I post things that are like good, are they just going to be like, oh, fuck off. Like they're not going to like me anymore, because that's the fear, right? It's like, if I seem too happy or things seem too good, what if they don't like me anymore? And actually I just had to push through my own discomfort and be like, no, but I really do practice what I preach, and life is better now, and I do want to share that and be okay with that. And I think it's just like, it is just a practice, like going through the discomfort.
Also, I think, to your point, I love seeing other women win, because I'm like, oh, if they did it, then I can do it too.
Exactly.
It's like my blueprint, you know? And every time I see a woman have a win, I'm like, hell yeah. Like that paves the path for us all. And like, if it's possible for one person, who's to say it's not possible for me?
Absolutely.
You know? So I think, to me, when I am seeing the wins on social media, or like my friends are telling me, I'm like, hell fucking yes.
Yes,
like,
I love that.
It is I like celebrate that like it's my own victory.
You're such a natural manifester.
Thank you.
Like you really embody all the steps. Like step 6 of the manifesting steps is turn envy into inspiration.
Yeah.
And like there's been so many things you said throughout this conversation. I'm like, you just so naturally embody it, I think. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I mean, it's obviously, you know, I got into this stuff when I was a lot younger, and it changed who I was, because I don't know if anyone is born a natural, like, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So I trained myself to be that way.
Amazing.
And now obviously it's like second nature, where it's like, I'm a very like glass half full person, and I'll always find the good. But it's like life-changing work.
Yeah.
You know, it's like whatever you believe to be true. Like I like really believe it's like all a self-fulfilling prophecy at the end of the day. So
oh God, it really is.
Yeah. Okay, so next up.
Okay, so step 6 is do hard things. So this is really about like showing yourself that you can. And I think that one of the things that stops a lot of us stepping into our fullest potential is that we wait till we're ready. You know, I'll do it when I'm more confident. I'll do it when I have more followers. I'll do it when I'm skinnier. I'll do it when, you know, whatever. And it's like, no, like you do the thing now, and that's how you gain confidence in it. You know, the first time I stepped on stage, oh my God, was I ready? No, it was so cringe. I had like little balloons with like practically like Comic Sans affirmations written on it. Like it was so lame, but I did it. And that's how I learned. And I think that, you know, it really is about understanding that doing hard things is building this resilience within you that is going to help you so much throughout your life, because life isn't always going to be easy. It's going to come with challenges, but you are going to be so proud of yourself when you're able to show up to those challenges with strength and grace and stay calm, because you have taught yourself that you can handle it. And I share a very like vulnerable story about my dad in the book when he passed. And, you know, I think that it was a very, like, I won't give you the whole story now, but it was a very, very difficult time. I went on stage the day that I buried him, and which was only 2 days after he passed. And you know, a lot of people at the end would ask me, like, how did you do that? And I was like, because I had trained myself to do hard things for the last 5 years. So I knew when the time could, I would be able to handle it. And I did.
Wow.
So it's really like, just show yourself that you fucking can.
It's true. And I agree. I think it builds such a muscle, and you yourself see your own resilience. And, you know, it really is taking the leap on something before you feel ready. Because I actually don't think you ever feel ready. Like I think I could have taken another 1 year to launch Array. I really could have, but like I did it. And our first website was not at all what it is today. You know, our social media was like embarrassing, you know, but like even first episode of this podcast, like I was a sweaty mess. I don't even know what I was saying. I think I blacked out. You know what I mean? But, like,
oh my God, I so can relate to that.
You like get better.
Yes.
So I think like the more you can show yourself that, the better you get. And I also think that as people get older, we no longer have this like beginner's mindset and giving ourselves the permission to like just start something new.
Oh my God, it's so funny you say that. In the book, I talk about like looking at kids.
Yeah,
and kids have this beginner's mindset. They know they've got to start from scratch to walk, to learn to ride a bike, to rollerblade, to skate, whatever it is. And they don't think, well, I better not try. Like, I'm no good. You know, they don't have a choice. And so we have to adopt that same mindset.
I couldn't agree more. And like, I try to do this by like learning. So like, I learned to ski just 4 years ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I like, that's a scary thing to do.
Scary. You know? You're a better woman than me.
But you know what it was? I was like, I was looking at these kids and I'm like, well, they're doing it
too, right?
You know?
Yeah.
So, okay, fine. Like I fell a bunch of times, but like, it's fine. Like you learn. And now that made me more confident. Cause I was like, look, like I pushed myself physically too.
Yes,
you know? And
absolutely.
Like, we can do hard things. Like, just like you said.
Oh my God, I love that. Also good on you. And I host ski trips and I don't ski. I just go there for the cute pics.
Vibes, yeah. Oh, listen, that's what got me there to begin with. I was like, I am there for the fashion and the après ski. The skiing now is like, I love it. And it's like very meditative. But initially when I went, like when I started to go, my husband snowboards. So I started to go because of him.
Cool, yeah.
And then I was like, wait a minute, this is actually really cute.
Oh my God, I am in awe of people that can ski. Everyone looks so cool doing it, and it looks so freeing.
No, it is. I mean, I'm still like very beginner, and I'm also not out here trying to prove to someone that I'm an Olympic. Like I'm not going on the blacks. Like I'm staying on the.
I don't care where you are. You're up there. You're on those skis. Fuck, you couldn't even get me on the like gondola. So.
Listen, Roxie, maybe on your next ski trip I come and I give you the little push.
Go on. There you go.
Okay, next step.
Yeah, next step is step 7 is be of service.
Love that one.
You know, I think that people maybe think, 5 minutes. Okay. I think that some people think that, you know, it's about just yourself, but it's not. It's about being of value in the world. We need to feel that we are here for a reason, that we have purpose. So be of service is really one that helped me a lot. Also, when you're helping other people, you're not thinking about your own problems. So it's a really, really beautiful step.
And it's a beautiful way to show up to the world.
Yes.
Like, what are we if we're not trying to make the world a better place?
Oh my God. I love that.
Right?
You said it.
So like whatever way we can contribute. I love that you have that step in your book. I think it's so important.
Oh, thank you. And then the last step 8 is about show up as your future self. So I give loads of tips on like body language, visualization, trusting your own decision making. So that's a kind of like, right, you've learned all the real foundational steps. Here's how you put it into practice. And I will say, like, I do think this book is my best work. And I think
that's saying a lot because I love your books.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, I just really love it. And it's filled with so many exercises. I really always encourage people when they're doing the book to like, lots of people like listening to the audiobook, but get the hardback just so you can fill in the exercises, because I like people to be able to not only just learn something, but actually implement it into action straight away.
You know, I love that you release your books, like the book came out at this time of year, because last year I had interviewed you right before the holidays and you gave me your book, and I actually did the exercises during the holiday time because that's when I'm the most reflective.
Yes.
And so I think like as we are going into the new year, what are your tips? Like how should someone be starting to think about how they want to start the new year?
Okay, well, firstly, I'm just going to plug that I'm doing the Manifest course, which is my first ever webinar series.
Oh my gosh, when?
From January the 2nd, kicking off with the Vision Board webinar.
Love.
It's 5 webinars, 90 minutes over 16 days. So it's like, we're going to have a big community. It'll be amazing. So if you want to like manifest 2026, all the details are on my website. But look, I think that a new year, some people are like, oh, new year, new me. I don't like it. I love it.
I love it. I'm
like, what are you talking about? It's so amazing.
It is.
Like,
it is.
It is an opportunity for you to truly audit your life. What is working? What isn't? What do you want to change? Like, you've got that motivation that we can actually use to really create something quite transformational. So I am just excited for people to like realize that like how you've got another new year ahead of you. you can decide what that's going to look like, and you really do have more power than you think. So yeah, I hope to see lots of people on the course with me. We'll do it together.
I love it.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're at time already. I feel like I could keep chatting with you for another hour.
I know.
And I mean, we got to do a part 3.
Yeah.
Next time you're in LA or I'm in London, we got to do a part 3. But tell everyone where they can find you and where can they find the book?
The book is available Amazon and all the kind of usual places. Confidence, 8 Steps to Knowing Your Worth. And I'm Roxie Nafousi on Instagram.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. I adore you. I really do.